The college basketball experience summer coaches tour. Stetson head coach Donnie Jones of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8 challenge. Sign up today using that promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 bonus in cash. Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is loaded up with a ton of new picks for the British Open. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM today. And welcome everybody to the college basketball experience summer coaches tour with the head coach of the Stetson Hatters, Donnie Jones, baby, the defending ASUN champions, baby. They got to the dance for the first time in program history. They had 22 straight losing seasons. Donnie Jones, year number 5, was able to get the Hatters over the hump. If you remember, they won that epic Austin P game in the finals, epic semifinal game. We'll get to that interview here in a minute, but first, I am Moneyline Mac, aka the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Also known as Mac Tonight over here at the College Basketball Experience. Fired up to bring another edition of the Summer Coaches Tour with the head coach of the Stetson Hatters. Like I talked about, unbelievable year last year. We talk about the year that they had, his experiences with Billy Donovan, Anthony Grant, Gregg Marshall, and just how he's been able to build a winning program there down in the state of Florida. We'll get to that real quick, but on the other side, first we got to talk about, well, college football is here, so get on over there to the Sports Gambling Podcast with their conference previews. Tune in wherever you get your podcast today on the SGPN app. Okay, we are back on the college basketball experience, talking Stetson Hatters basketball, ASUN basketball, and let's get right into it. The head coach of the Stetson Hatters, Coach Donnie Jones. And we continue our summer coaches tour on the college basketball experience with the head coach of the Stetson Hatters, Coach Donnie Jones. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Ryan. Thanks for having me with you today.
We appreciate you making the time. So, obviously, a great year, NCAA Tournament appearance. Just fill the audience what you guys been up to in this offseason so far.
Yeah, well, it's, college basketball, as you know, Ryan's a little different. As you probably every conversation has some kind of conversation about it, but it's been a busy one. We've had to add a lot of new players. Matter of fact, we added 9 new players to our roster. It's almost like a complete rebuild and restart. But it's been good. It's been challenging, but we hadn't really had a chance to enjoy the season we had as much as you'd like to. Sometimes, usually, the off season's usually after the season, but we jump right into the NIL and the recruiting and all the things that's involved now. Keeps you really busy. So I think the off season is busier than the actual season sometimes.
Oh, absolutely, especially just with the never-changing landscape of college basketball. But, Coach, we were talking pre-show. You noticed my West Virginia stuff behind me. You grew up in West Virginia. You played at Pikeville. Talk about those days and when you knew you wanted to get into the coaching industry.
Yeah, well, first of all, Ryan, proud to be from West Virginia, right? 304, that's where
Oh,
we're
yeah.
from. So
Yep.
a lot of great people. I'm thankful. I was just back up that way to see all my family still lives there in Point Pleasant. So to go back and see everybody, you just realize, what a great place to grow up. So much love and community. But I was fortunate. I grew up in a great town, small town in Point Pleasant that had a lot of people that cared about you. I loved hoops always as a young kid, and had a few people that inspired me. My favorite player was a guy named Greg White, who played at Marshall University at the time, and grew up watching him as a kid, going to Marshall games. And then my senior year, he got the head coaching job at Pikeville College, and he brought me in as his point guard. And I played there 4 years for him, and obviously got a huge opportunity there to really learn a lot from one of the best in the business that we know in West Virginia very well. He's impacted so many people and still one of my mentors and best friends today.
Yeah, he's well known and well respected. But from there, you started Pikeville, and then you go to the southern part of the state of West Virginia, Huntington. You're an assistant coach at Marshall for 6 years, including when Billy Donovan takes over. Then you go to Florida. Just talk about your time at Marshall, down there in Huntington, and then the transition from going to Marshall and Florida with Coach Donovan and what you guys were able to build.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity. Went as a graduate assistant, started off, then become an assistant coach, and had the opportunity when there was a coaching change at Marshall to stick with Billy on his first opportunity as a head coach, and then from there, I just had a great chance to be around some great coaches. Obviously, Billy, one of the best of all time in this business, and 11 years there, we had a great run at Florida. We were the team of the decade in the '80s. Played for 3 national championships. We won 2 back to back in '07, '08, and I had that opportunity. The job opened up at Marshall, and they'd had 7 straight losing seasons prior to that. So I thought it was a great opportunity to go back home. Always been a Marshall fan growing up, and still am to this day. Love those people in Huntington. Big part of my early years and growing as a coach. And going back there was great. Be around family. Had a chance to rebuild that, and we had 3 really good years. Third year, won 24 games, and had a kid named Hassan Whiteside there, played for me, that ended up going to the NBA. And then I had the opportunity to go to UCF. So that was a tough decision for me at the time. Obviously, Marshall and UCF was in the same conference, but I knew in the interview that they'd already accepted a bid to go to the Big East. So I knew it was a different situation, totally. Very well known in Florida. So I thought I could go there and build a winner. And so we did. We went back to UCF, had some great success there early on, had the opportunity to coach Michael Jordan's sons, both of them during my time there at UCF. And so, but those were big opportunities for us as a family. We were there 6 years, and so and from there, obviously, had a chance to go to the NBA. I was with the Los Angeles Clippers for a year. Got a chance to be in the front office, was a scout, went around the world, saw the best players in the world, got a chance to be a part of that. Thought that's the route I may want to go, but realized my love for coaching and miss being on the sidelines, miss being impacting and developing people and kids, and went to Wichita State with Gregg Marshall. We had a great team there and top 5 in the country preseason, and had a chance to coach a couple pros there, Landry Shamet and Austin Reeves, who plays for the Lakers. And then joined my good friend Anthony Grant in Dayton a year later. We worked together for 12 years, Ryan, and he's one of my best friends to this day. And had Obi Toppin, who ended up being the National Player of the Year during that time. And I was there just a short 7-8 months. And in April, this job opened up at Stetson, and they called. Chance to come back to Florida, which I knew taking this program over. We'd had 22 straight losing seasons when I arrived. Never been to an NCAA tournament, never won a tournament, and knew there were some huge challenges ahead. But we came in and obviously won 16 games the first year, had the largest turnaround in college basketball from a previous year. And then COVID hit, which everybody had affected differently depending on where your program was, how you could survive. So it took us a couple of years to regather ourselves from that hit. And then we had the first winning season. And then this past year, obviously, we had an incredible run and went to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 53 years here at Stetson University.
Yeah, it was fun watching your guys' team last year and get over the hump, get to the dance. Coach, let me ask you this. You just went basically stop by stop along your coaching career. The thing from looking from the outside looking in that I've always respected about you, Coach, is you always left the program a better place than you found it. You you look at kind of where Marshall is now, they're better than when you were there in 2008 and you helped elevate it. UCF, they're in the Big 12 now. A lot of it is because you guys had 3 straight 20-win seasons to elevate that brand and program. And then, of course, Stetson. Just to rewind, what was the biggest difference between being a head coach from 07 to 16 than now 2019 in your second stint till now?
Yeah, Ryan, I think the biggest thing is obviously I've always been the rebuilder. I've always taken over programs that had usually get them because they won and somebody got a better job or
Yeah.
the previous coach got fired. So it's one or the other. So my situation was, every time I've taken over, it's been a coach that's been let go. And so I think I've taken pride in developing and building culture and graduating kids. And I've had 23 NBA players I've been fortunate to coach and be a part of, and 10 first-round draft picks. So that's just a few of the success we've had with kids at every stop. And I think nothing's changed, even though it's the NIL time here now. I still think there's a great opportunity to grow kids even more. But I think the biggest growth for me is just obviously understanding through the experience that you win with people, you win with character. It's nothing that we didn't really know early on, but believe it more than ever now, how important it is to have the right people with you. And obviously, nobody cares about what you know until they know you care. It's just the old saying we know in leadership. And I think just I love serving and helping people become their best and reaching their dreams. And that's always why I've coached.
That's awesome. And coach, you mentioned it. You've had some pretty darn good mentors. Billy Donovan, Gregg Marshall, Anthony Grant, all who have had just unbelievable careers themselves. What did you take away from each guy? That has helped you become a better coach throughout the years.
Yeah, that's a great question, Ryan. Billy Donovan is a great teacher. He sometimes always got the credit for being a great recruiter, but that's just part of the business. But
Mhm.
Billy's a great developer, a great teacher, everyday guy. There wasn't no days off for him. He showed up every day, consistent with who he was, with how he taught, how he competed, um, his focus and his ability to lock in and be able to get people to play at a level that they can't get themselves is very unique. He's got a great ability to create a calls and individually grow people to get them to play for a team. So I think that's what I learned from Billy. Gregg Marshall, obviously an amazing coach, great competitor, really a great teacher, great in-game coach, could really make adjustments, really had a great feel for evaluating talent and to fit what he did. So I really respected that he always got the guys to play at a high level, play hard, play tough, and find ways to win. Anthony Grant, I mean, obviously a great defensive coach, great composure, just a leader, just a man's man, a truth teller, just a guy you want your kid to play for because he's a father figure. He's going to love you, but he's going to demand from you. So, but all those guys have brought some great characteristics that which I've been able to learn from. That's helped make me better.
Absolutely. And you took that to Stetson now. You're entering your sixth season. And just from the trajectory looking outside looking in, you've built a program kind of the old school way. Everybody wants to just go in the portal, NIL, get it quick fix. People don't have
Yeah.
patience anymore. But you look at your trajectory where you guys won 16 game, then kind of it like the COVID year, that was a weird time. But then 2 years ago, 17 wins, and you guys jumped 22, get over the hump. Just talk about building a program from the bottom. You mentioned it, taking over a program that had 22 straight losing seasons and now winning back-to-back seasons, including an NCAA tournament appearance. Just talk about that, building a program.
Yeah, I think even now, everybody's asking what's the model. I think still the model is what fits you. I mean, I think we're going to we signed 3 freshmen, and I think you'll have to bring in some kids if you lose a veteran player, which we lost 5 of them right off due to the NIL of guys that would have been back. You got to bring in 5 guys. So we brought in a couple junior college kids that were older and a couple grad transfers. So I think we just try to still even out the roster. I still think you got to build and develop your team. We had 4 freshmen back from last year that will be sophomores this year, which will be very important. So I think we're still building it the same way. I think getting players that fit you, no matter what. The hardest thing is you have to evaluate in a quicker period of time now, because you're talking about 4 to 6 weeks. You're signing, half your team, and so with that, you have to really pay attention and make sure as much as you can, that they fit your style, they fit your academic situation. We're a great academic school, and they also fit your culture. And sometimes you can sell yourself out for talent, and it doesn't work. And so I think you just still got to stay with your model. And obviously summer's big. We're in summer right now, 9 new kids here. We're learning to be teammates. We're learning to be family. We're doing a lot more stuff than just basketball. Just making sure we all have understanding of the mission and the culture, and what it's about to have success.
And one of the downsides, I guess, of the mid majors is being in the ASUN. You guys are unless it's a crazy year, a one bid league. Just talk about like being in your fifth year, able to win the conference tournament, and not on the road either, because the ASUN is so unique with their tournament format. You guys got to play on ESPN. I think it was a Sunday noon game, national
Sure.
TV in front of everybody. Just talk about year five, just all the work over the 4+ years before that, leading up to that moment of being able to clinch your spot in the big dance on your home floor with your home fans.
Yeah, right. It was obviously a out of body experience. To think about where we'd come from. We'd always talked about getting to that point, but to be able to do it, it all lined up. We finished second. So you always get the first 2 games at home in
Yep.
this regular season. Eastern Kentucky got upset in the first round, which gave us a chance to host all the way through. So with that, it was set up for us, and but it wasn't easy. It never is easy, and our kids are very resilient. We started 3 kids that didn't have a scholarship offer when they come out of high school, and just developed into who they were. We had one of our best players, all conference, power forward, blow his knee out 2 weeks before. We had our backup point guard blow his ankle and out bad, and so we were playing with 5.5 guys. Freshmen started at the 4 spot for us at 6'4". So you know what? We went in limping into the tournament, and the resiliency of these guys were different. We felt from top to bottom we had really good guard play, that we had a chance to be good, but we felt talent wise we were probably the 4th best team from a talent from top to bottom in the league. We just felt we had to be the best team, and I really thought these guys believed in each other. It was one of those unique situations, kind of like I was around in 2006 and 7. We had a bunch of sophomores with Noah Horford and those guys. They just cared about each other. Good players and become
Yep.
lottery picks, but those guys were unique and believed differently. And there was no distractions. It was just all guys wanting to do something that's never been done, and that was their mission there. And we had lost 5 guys before. I had a center that was supposed to be back, Muhammadu Dawawa, 6'10", 250. And it's started for me for 4 years, and mid-August he leaves and goes to Oregon before the season starts. So couldn't fill that spot, and we were thinking, golly, we've lost 5 guys. Can we do it? But we just got better and better. We had some big wins, beat UCF. We played Houston. We played a hard schedule early on, won a tournament down in Daytona, gave us confidence. I think these kids just trusted the process. And you know what? We were in a situation on the stage that gave us that opportunity, and those guys step up, and your best players made the plays to win the games for you. And that happened in the semis with Stephon Swinson hitting a step back 3 with 6 seconds to go. And then, second half, Jalen Blackman scores 34, and he ends up with 43 points in the championship game. So, it's just, those guys rose to the moment, which is what great players do, and created a memory that'll never go away here in the history of this school.
Absolutely. It was that those games were electric. You as a coach, I'm sure you wish you could have won a couple blowouts so that you could have breathed a little easier. But from the audience standpoint, they were classics, and you guys will remember that forever. Coach, you've taken time, and we really appreciate that over here at the College Basketball Experience. I want to ask you one last question on the way out. So you're entering year number 6. You've gotten to the big dance, got over the hump. Year number 6, as you head in, what's your message for Stetson Hatter fans that are going to tune in and watch this show?
Yeah, you know what? I think, new team, I still have the same standards. Nothing's changed. I mean, I think the expectation is the same. You got to be able to build your team instead of 4 years. You got to be able to do it in one. Same message in growing people, developing people. But, your expectation is always to win the A-Sun. If you win the A-Sun, you go to the NCAA tournament. I think we'll have a lot of talent, but it'll be a lot of guys, trusting to the process of buying in, accepting new roles, and learning this team. So I think early on, be a lot of bumps because we're going to play a hard schedule. But our mission's to, have another great season and put ourselves in a position in March to make another run.
And we look forward to watching that, Coach. We appreciate you guys, or appreciate you and your program taking the time to stop by the college basketball experience. Best of luck this season in the A-Sun, going for back-to-back tournament appearances, and we look forward to having you on again.
I appreciate it, Ron. So great to be with you. Thank you.
And it's always great to have a fellow West Virginian on as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's stay in touch. Say hello to all the people back home.
Will do. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Head coach of the Stetson Hatters, Coach Donnie Jones. Like you said, fellow West Virginia, had to get another West Virginia guy on here. Did a great job at Marshall, did a great job at UCF, and I think people forget he was a part of those Florida staffs with Billy Donovan that were able to win back-to-back national championships. And what he's been able to do, then go to Wichita, Dayton. He's one of the most respected guys in this industry. Great guy. And obviously a great basketball coach and knows how to build a program and a sustained winner. Stetson had 22 straight losing seasons before he got there. And for him to build that up and get it to where it is in year number 5, 22 wins, building it the right way, has been really fun to watch. I just getting prepared for this episode, I went back and watched those 2 A-Sun tournament games, and that Jacksonville semifinal game and the Austin P championship A-Sun game were just unbelievable. So I recommend everybody go back and watch that. I know we're in the dog days of summer, so go back and watch the A-Sun semis and A-Sun finals, especially for you Stetson Hatters fans watching this show. So real quick, we got to pay the bills on the way out so that we can keep doing the coaches tour, because we are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog just launched their new college football best ball product. You want to go check that out. Go check out Noah Beanick. He just did a breakdown on how to win, how to leverage where you're at picking, and the new Pick 8 challenge. So get on over there, and you got to use the promo code above me, TCESGPN, if you want the best offers and deposits so that you can be a consistent winner over there at Underdog Fantasy and get the best bang for your buck. Use that promo code TCESGPN for a special pick and first-time deposit. Offer up to $250 bonus in cash. Underdog Fantasy, you know the drill. Promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Circa Survivor and Circa Millions. Circa Sports is back better than ever. Circa Millions is giving away $16 million guaranteed in prize. And of course, get over there. NFL ATS 5 games each week. Compete for in the Survivor Gauntlet and sign up between now and September 7th with the proxy code SGP to save yourself $50. Don't have your trip booked already? Well, Ryan and Sean will be out there August 22nd through the 24th. If you want to go hang out there with those guys at the greatest sportsbook in America, Circa Sports, Circa Survivor, Circa Millions. Alrighty, we are back. That was a tongue twister saying Circa 3 straight times. So appreciate you guys. I know the chat was alive and well. Chad G was in there. Daquan's in there. Stetson Hatters fans, appreciate you guys that will watch this interview with Coach Donnie Jones. We're here every single night on the college basketball season, and we preview every single one of your games. And we were a fan of your guys' program, fan of your coach, Coach Jones, his staff, and what they've been able to build there. We love the A-Sun. We had Coach Driscoll from North Florida on, and we got a couple more A-Sun coaches coming on in the next couple weeks. So we are an A-Sun podcast, A-Sun show. And like I said, we can't do the show without you guys, the viewer, the listener. So get over there. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend. And it really helps with the future of the show and the growth of the show. Go check out the college football experience where we're doing all 134 teams. A-Sun football. Go check out the FCS experience with Colby and those guys. Go check out the College Baseball Experience with Noah Beanick, and I'm on the Big 12 as well. And we got we got coaches interviews lined up all week. Tomorrow, who do we got tomorrow? Who do we have on the lineup tomorrow? Oh, we got Tony Pujo from North Alabama, another A-Sun folks. So Stetson fans, you might want to go check out one of your opponents next year as we break down North Alabama. Later in the week, we will have Coach Kuick from the Army Black Knights, and we also got Coach Leonard from Queens on doc too. So like I said, we got this coaches series all season long, and I'm enjoying it, man. It's going to get us to the season before we know it, and we'll be watching these guys every single night of the season. That's all I got, folks. This is another edition of the Summer Coaches Tour. Coach Donnie Jones, and we appreciate you, Coach Jones, for stopping by the College Basketball Experience. Mac tonight signing off over at the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.